And when you're working with legacy code, of course, one of the biggest problems we have is that every year Apple bumps iOS, Apple bumps macOS, tvOS, and watchOS, and then they'll release a whole new set of phones and iPads or watches pretty much every single year. And that's hard because if you have a large working project, proven, a very low bug count comparatively, and Apple say, hey, iOS 13's out and everything's changed. How do you support that? How do you add new features for iOS 13 while also supporting 12, potentially 11, and maybe even 10?
Whew, they're going down to 10. Wow. Paul, that's really far back. I mean, if you can obviously try to reduce the numbers that you really, really need to support, look at how many users are on that, just because it makes it easier. And you still have resources that you need to think about, like your developers, right? And your developers' time. Um, See what the minimal version is that you definitely need to support. Then I would try, if you can, have a device that you work with that is the lowest supported iOS so that you actually see when there are problems, because
Right.
performance is an issue with older devices oftentimes. You can notice those earlier if you're actually developing with the lowest supported device and iOS. Yeah, those are the big starters, I guess. And
So,
then make sure if you have tests that you run them not only on iOS 13, but also iOS 12 and 11.
what iOS versions does Netflix support on iOS?
We only support the current one and that one minus one.
Okay, so that's see
So
that.
12.
Well, yeah. So 12 was a good release because of 11.
Mm,
Everyone from 11 could get 12. So
yeah.
that made our lives much easier because fine, we can upgrade. Sadly, 13 was such a huge release. Massive features left, right, and center. Combine different data sources, conventional layouts, Swift UI, all its gorgeous SF symbols, and hey, only some devices support it. I think everyone's hoping that iOS 14 will be another iOS 12, a slower, stabler, simpler release that everyone on 13 can get to. So it means then potentially we can say just 14.
Yeah. But that is, you're actually touching on a topic that's hard, I guess, for developers. What do you do when you want to, like, for example, work with Combine, but you still have like older versions that, or not Combine, but like if you have something that is not available on a lower version in general,
Yeah, Swift UI,
you
for
don't want to
example.
have two code paths, right? Yeah. You
Right.
don't want to have two code paths around. So usually you wait with the adoption until you dropped the lowest version so that you can use it everywhere. That's at least like my approach so far. You don't want to have that code path there and the other one for the newer software somewhere else.
Yeah. There's certainly an interesting problem that hasn't been solved really yet, which is that developers like you who support iOS N and N minus one, um, you can watch Dub Dub, in 10 days' time and go, wow, look at iOS 14, look at these things I can't actually use. And then what you really want is in a year and a half's time to be told, yes, you can now use combined. You can now use those ones. It's now within the remit of what you're allowed to use. That's a hard one because you're looking at next year's Dub Dub stuff and what they're doing next year with, and it's always a bit of a treadmill.
I think people are actually going back to like the WWDC of the version that they just like dropped, or like are is their now lowest one, to know like, oh, what can I actually now use that I couldn't use before?
Yeah, absolutely.